Greetings, this is Dr. Kim. I want to thank you for joining me today. Very briefly, I want to talk to you about my book, Are You Spiritually Exhausted? A lot of times we don't know if we're spiritually exhausted or not. And many times when we think we're emotionally exhausted, physically exhausted, COVID exhausted, it starts out spiritually. All exhaustion, stay with me, starts out spiritually. Let me give you an example. Sometimes when I wake up, and if I'm really, really stressed out, I will notice it in my joints. My joints will kill me. I am very upset. I could barely walk. I could barely sit. Everything hurts. And so my joints, I look at like I'm physically exhausted. But then I find out, I'm like, well, why am I exhausted? I just went to bed and I just woke up. So why am I exhausted? And then I find out that I'm exhausted because I'm worried. And then the worrying is spiritual. Because if I worry, it means I don't believe. Are you flowing with me? So what I'm saying is that all exhaustion, oh my goodness, starts out spiritual. And what ends up happening is that it starts out spiritual. And then if we don't address it, it will define itself in a way that we understand. So we'll say, I'm physically exhausted, I'm emotionally exhausted, I am COVID exhausted. And so what I am saying to you is that all of us are exhausted. But if we think it's physical, when it's really spiritual, or we give the credit or the discredit to emotional, when it's really, really spiritual, then we never solve the exhaustion because we're not at the root of the exhaustion. I love this book. It goes into the energy. Oh my goodness. How unfinished business will exhaust your energy. Sometimes it is better to not start something you're not going to finish than to start it and not finish it. I mean, come on. When you start it and you don't finish it, it's still alive. It's still active. It's in the back of your head. Sometimes it is better not to start it than to start it and not finish it. We go into the seduction of drama and chaos. It will seduce you. It will grab you. It will excite you, especially when it's not you. And then after a while, oh my goodness, it will exhaust you. Are you spiritually exhausted? Are you spiritually exhausted? We think that is physical, emotional, mental, when more than likely it is spiritual. Did I say that wrong? It's spiritual, but we think it's physical. It's spiritual, but we say it's emotional. It's spiritual, but we think that it's because we hate our job. And can I say this? If you hate your job, you hate your job. But there's something spiritual that you can do if you hate your job. It's like, I am going to do my best at something that I hate so that I can pass my test and it won't exhaust me. Instead, it'll energize me. Listen, get my book. It's on Amazon. If you need a keynote or a speaker, that's what I do. Every single thing, oh my goodness, that you say you should do is exactly what you should do. The should do's, I should get out of this relationship. I should look for another job. I should apologize to my brother. The things you say that you should do is not only the wisdom in you, but it's also the things that will energize you. Dr. Kimberly Ventus-Darks, thank you for your time. Have an incredible day without the exhaustion.